there we go. Select the car again, and there we go.
2, 1.
This is going to be a long race. It's basically a marathon. The one thing I am going to do though quick is change up my audio settings because I don't need it that loud. Because it's very loud and it hurts my ears at the moment. What? I can barely hear you. Your mic sounds really quiet today. Yeah?
Is that any better?
No, not really. Someone's banging on my door. Okay. I guess your timing is kind of perfect. Okay. Big one, yeah. Okay. My controller.
It's a little bit like Tyler's desk. You don't actually have to.
Oh no. Probably.
And I don't have enough cords.
Oh, definitely not. Do we want to make a big one?
Let's take it.
Things so that we can actually get this done.
This is still barely up close.
Yeah,
No,
this
this
is
is actually.
no, it's not plugged into anything. So,
Nice.
there should be room there for it.
Scratched.
Oh, okay.
It's just marked.
Oh, okay. Well, I have dual monitors now.
Nice.
So now I don't need this stream overlay because I can just drag the stream over to my other monitor now.
Where'd you get the other one?
My dad just came by with it. He was like scratching on my door and ended up making my name written in from the edge of the monitor. He was rubbing the monitor on the door and wrote my name with it. I wasn't expecting that. I was like, why am I hearing noises? And then he just showed up with a monitor. It's cool. I can now do things. I don't.
Cool.
It's basically like having my two monitors again, or having my one big monitor.
Oh,
Only
yeah.
difference is
It's separate.
there's a big split between the monitors because one is much shorter than the other.
Oh,
which is fine because I can actually.
You can use the big one for your game.
I'm just
And this off your screen, let's see the scratches.
move what up.
Just off the desktop, like close Discord. Or just get it off the screen.
There. Just so you can see the thing. Okay, I was thinking I'd grab this board and set it underneath this other monitor to raise it up slightly. Just so that I can just so it looks nicer and it's like similar height to the other monitor. Yeah, that'll work. I just need to make sure there's nothing under the board. And then this will work. There we go. As long as the board is flat, I should be good. And then I can set that there, and it's the same height as that one.
Make it hurt. I think it might be a little bit smaller screen. But
Yeah, I think they are. Well, this one looks a little bit wider than this one, maybe.
well, give that a shot.
Cool.
Anyway.
Now I can do streaming better. Okay, that's much nicer. Now I can have the crew in full screen now
Sweet.
and not have to worry. That works. I just started the race again. Okay. There we go.
The question I was asking is if Twitch boards or picks up Discord voice audio.
It does. I made sure it does. So the stream does pick it up.
Now, have commentary on your voice.
Yeah, so you'd be able to hear yourself through the stream or even through the YouTube video that I'll have.
A bunch of background noise, but that's fine.
Oh, I don't even hear the background noise right now because your mic is so quiet you can't really hear the background noise.
Oh, well, I guess that's kind of nice.
I thought it would be because of my headset volume being turned down, but I didn't turn it down. It might be that I just have you turned down from last. Let me check. I probably have you turned down from the last time. Yeah, you're at like 80% instead of 100. That's why.
Oh,
Now I can actually hear you.
yay! So I was watching the YouTube video, the CarX one you posted
Oh
2
yeah.
days ago. Yeah, that one was nice.
You saw how good my settings were?
Oh yeah, you got some nice settings.
I managed to finally get it working. The only thing I need now is I want to try and work on figuring out how the graphic settings work with Kino mod, because Kino mod, they have a special mod that you can use to like change graphical settings with the game so that things look sharper and have better shadow qualities, like a whole bunch of stuff.
Nice.
You can even have like way better reflections too. It's really nice. I'm so glad that with this race, it's like second nature to me because I did the race like probably like 6, maybe like 10 times when I first started playing the Crew 1. The moment I found the race, I was like, this is the race I'm going to do all the time to get money, and now I do it.
Nice.
And now I'll be able to do it in this game too.
Nice.
Because in the Crew game, you got around 160, I think it was 160,000 every time you did the race. But with the Crew game, you were able to send friends, like faction friends, into the race to do the race for you. So you'd basically send in their ghost times of that race, and they'd complete it. And you could send up to 4 people for every faction race, but not. There was a certain amount of races you could start up. So you'd get up to, I think it was like 5 or 10 different races that you could start up with friends racing in it. and then you could do another race all on your own. And from those faction races, if they win the race, you'd earn that money from that race, like the amount of money that it would give you. So like, I think, no, actually, now that I think about it, I think the race gave you like 1,600,000 or something like that. I can't remember exact. It was a lot of money for sure. Like, you used to get lots of money in the crew, in the first The Crew game, because one way to get money was to do faction races or to send friends into faction races. The other way was just drifting around in the snowy mountains. Like, you would get money for doing drifting, just in free roam. And that's what I always did, and that's how I got to like the maximum amount of money you could get in the game. But in The Crew 2, the way to get money now is just races. You can't just do free roam stuff anymore. You used to be able to, but they got rid of that.
That's sad.
Yeah, it really does suck. I miss being able to just drift around in free roam to get money. But now all you get is followers. You don't get money. You just get followers. Because you're doing stunts. And they think they're cool.
Yeah, the stunts think they're cool.
But I think in the Crew Motorfest, I don't know yet. I won't know until September when I actually start playing it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm hoping that we will be able to actually earn money through free roam. Just like
That'd be cool.
doing stunts and stuff. Like, the only other free roam way to get money in The Crew 2 is the taxi service, where you just drive around, pick up people, drop them off at their destination, and that's it. But you don't get a whole lot out of it. You get probably like maybe 10 grand per person that you deliver, and most of them are pretty long for the routes that you have to drive.
You're
Well,
2%. Good job.
I'm only at 2%, and it's been only 5 minutes.
Goodness.
I'll be at like 10% by 12 minutes. I'm driving past the Demolition Derby area over here. This big red thing is a Demolition Derby arena.
Wow.
I'm just gonna
That's
cut right through the
big-
middle of it. Oh wait, I can't, because they blocked it.
Yeah.
No.
Wrong way.
Yeah, I guess I can't do it that way. I thought I'd be able to cut through here, but they blocked off the path with a gate.
Oh. Dang.
All because it's a race event, so you have to go through the gate first, then you can go out the other end. It's really stupid. But that's how that's how Ivory Tower decided to make it. Is that you can't just drive through events, you have to drive to them, open them up, and then do all that stuff. I'm just gonna drive straight to the destination. I'm not gonna bother with driving that road. Because it's gonna take too long if I drive every single road for this race. I'm at maximum speed.
Maximum speed.
The highest speed this vehicle can hit is 255 kilometers an hour. And that's not even that quick compared to like the drag cars that can hit over 500 kilometers an hour.
Oh yeah, but it's too off-road for that.
Oh yeah, definitely too off-road for a drag car. The drag cars in this game, you have to warm up your tires before you even start driving. Because if you don't warm up your tires, you're just going to be spinning your wheels like crazy. And if your tires are too warm, you're still spinning your wheels like crazy. So you have to keep your tires at a specific temperature in order to have grip at all. Of course, the one drag car that I made, it's a Camaro, and it does some crazy wheelies.
Nice.
So like when it goes up into a wheelie, it'll go up into the wheelie on first gear, and then second gear, third gear, fourth gear, it's just holding the wheelie the whole time.
Oh my
And then once I get to fifth gear, that's when it drops down finally. So like it's a crazy car. Like it has so much power. So
Alright.
many people say that the Corvette Stingray is the best one, like the newest style Corvette. Like not the mid-engine Corvette, but the one before that. And I've tried it. It's not very good. Like the Camaro is so much better because you can just infinitely wheelie. Like it's crazy. Like I found out that you could also do the same tune for the Corvette, but the Corvette doesn't do it as well. Because the way you have to do it is you have to set the anti-roll bars to be really low in the front, but really high in the back. So like you have no rolling at all when you're in the wheelie, as well as you have to have specific bumpers on the car to make the wheelie bar slightly wider so that you're not tipping left and right from a narrow wheelie bar.
Yeah.
Well, I'm almost to 12%.
Almost. This thing's gonna be a marathon, my goodness.
Yeah. And I'm doing this whole thing in a Humvee. I'm doing hood cam view because it's just the easier camera view to run.
Oh yeah. Pretty
Because
clean.
running the chase cam gets annoying at times.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly because you can't see what's in front of your vehicle. And sometimes if you run into a rock, you're like, how did I even hit that rock?
Yeah.
But then when you're in hood cam view, you actually could see it. And you see why you hit the rock and didn't bounce off of it. There's weird physics with the crew too, where some rocks you can just glide over. Other rocks you bounce off of and go like 10 feet in the air. And other rocks you just stop dead in your tracks. And you never know which ones you're going to hit. And sometimes there's even rocks inside bushes. And that's really annoying. Like, they purposely hit rocks inside the bushes. Just to mess with people.
Well.
It was a very clean landing. I'm glad I tuned my suspension. But because without the suspension tuning that I did, this thing would be bouncing all over the place. Like it wouldn't be able to handle any of these small little bumps on the dirt roads. And even the jumps, it would try and do backflips or something probably. Well, here comes the first highway section. Or well, I should say second highway section because the first one was at the very start of the race. Out in the Las Vegas Strip.
You.
Laughing at me. He just chuckled.
He just chuckled.
The greatest background noise.
Yup. The only background noise I would ever have is Angel barking, but she's actually been quiet so far. Other than earlier this morning at like 7 in the morning, all I hear is her barking because the dog that my neighbor is watching over till tomorrow is like a big hound dog, and he just was wailing this morning, like 7 a.m. And then every other dog in town started wailing, and then Angel finally did. It's just retarded.
Like, party.
They were all freaking out. And then later on, then while I was making taco meat for tacos, our neighbor's cat came over and started freaking out at our cat, and then our cat made him scared. And they were just sitting there freaking out. My dad gave him like this little treat thing that we have. It's like, it looks like a yogurt tube, but for cats. And the orange and white cat we have, he literally just is obsessed with those things to a point where he'll practically try and eat your hand while he's trying to eat it. Like that's how much he loves those things. And like it was funny though because they were like wailing at each other, the two cats. They're like making all the cat noises they make when they're angry, and like screeching at each other. And then my dad came by with the little yogurt tube thing and got both of them to eat off the same one. And then they realized they were friends. I just realized I was in 4th gear rev banging that whole time. I'm an idiot. I could have been going so much faster across that highway. Now on to the final dirt section at 13 minutes. I would have been here at 12 minutes if it weren't for me being in the wrong gear the whole time.
Yeah. Stories can be distracting.
Yeah, especially when I need to change gears. You know what? Because I'm lazy, go an automatic gearbox
Nice.
instead of manual, so I don't have to worry about changing gears. I'll just let the game do it for me. And the crew actually did a really good job with the gear ratio, like the gearing for the drift cars. They did a really good
Really?
job with it, to where you can drift with automatic gears.
Nice.
The only downside is the drifting in the Crew 2 is kind of scuffed. But in the Crew Motorfest, it's definitely way better. Like, they made it to where it's almost like playing Need for Speed Carbon is what it looks like, based off of what I've seen from other people. I haven't tried it myself yet, but once I try it, I'll know for sure if it's like Need for Speed Carbon or not. But for sure,
Oh, yeah.
the wheel physics look like they are pretty similar to Car X.
That's good.
Like,
Car X
based
is
off
good.
of Slaptrain's video with the Crew Motorfest. Because he always plays with a wheel on pretty much any racing game that you could think of. So, I got to see a direct comparison with a good wheel to see what the wheel physics
Yeah.
would be like. Because he's got a full direct drive wheel from Fanatec that was all free because they sponsored him at one point. I wish I could get sponsored by Fanatec and get a free set of like direct drive wheels, or even get sponsored by Logitech, because I got a Logitech keyboard, Logitech mouse, a Logitech headset. Like, I might as well get a Logitech Pro wheel sponsored.
Just be like, hey, sponsor me. Do it.
Yeah, I wish. It'd be cool. But I probably don't post enough videos to get sponsored by Logitech.
You gotta post more.
Yeah, I gotta post way more videos.
Yeah.
We'll see if I have enough space on my computer for this full race.
Crash those barriers. Do it.
No, that's a rock, not a barrier. What are you talking about? Yeet.
Do it.
Do it. Kill it. I think the one thing I do like about the Crew 2, though, like about all the Crew games, is the fact that you're able to make the minimaps smaller and bigger.
Oh, that's good. That's a
Like
good
in
thing.
GTA, it's retarded. You have to press down on the D-pad like 4 times before you finally get the D-pad to go bigger. And then once it goes bigger, it only lasts for like 5 seconds. And then it goes back to being small again. Like, it's really stupid. Like, you have
That's
to literally
weird.
go into a menu to force the mini-map to be large.
They don't have like a setting.
There's no setting to like make it so that you select a button and does things. I just lost so much traction there and could not stay on the road. Like, my back wheels lost all traction as well as my front wheels because of a small bump on the inside of the turn.
Goodness.
And I just went flying off the road.
Yeet.
This thing
Humvee
drifts like a lot. What were you gonna say?
The Humvee go yeet.
Oh. Yeah, pretty much. 257 kilometers an hour on that downhill section. Here comes the tight hairpins. Well, not tight hairpins, but they're like wide hairpins, like third gear hairpins. I'm also using a lot of the body weight of this big Humvee to
Big
send
chuckle.
it into drifts, because I basically just touch the brakes and that pitches the vehicle in such a way that it gives more grip to the front wheels, which makes the car pitch around the turn into a drift.
Ooh. Nice. I just fell off a building.
Yeah. In what?
Power wash simulator.
Oh, of course you're playing that game.
Of course.
I saw Markiplier play it as well as Jacksepticeye, and it was hilarious watching them play it.
Oh, it's a good game.
Like, the things that Jack talks about when he's playing that game is just hilarious. Same with, like, Markiplier. Like, Markiplier and Jack are just absolutely hilarious when it comes to the videos they make. Like the meme time with Jack.
I used to watch Let's Game It Out quite a bit. There's some funny videos there.
Well, I've made it to 7% so far.
Nice. It's been 19 minutes.
Yeah, it's a very long race.
What is that, a garbage can?
Yeah.
That's great.
There's a lot of things. There's also random... There's supposed to be traffic. Yeah, there we go. There's some traffic, like one car. I have the traffic set on high.
That's
And that
high,
tells
really?
you how much traffic, like, how much traffic impedes the performance of this game. Like, there could be lots of traffic right now, but there isn't, because, one, I'm on a dirt road, and two, traffic doesn't spawn for, like, maybe 4 to 5 minutes before it starts getting heavy when you're on a certain, like, paved road.
Huh.
So it takes a while for the traffic to, like, actually start properly spawning at the correct rate when you're on a paved road. I even tried to set it so it was high traffic, so it was just like the original event from the first game. Because in the first game you had to dodge traffic, there was always lots of traffic, like way more traffic than this game has. But not so much anymore. I'm trying to use the handbrake to like pull the back end out around the corners because this thing understeers a lot, even with pretty high anti-roll bars. I'm gonna turn my music up a little bit because it's kind of quiet. There we go, that should be better. I'm off into the trees.
Oh, nice.
The one downside of the menus in this game is like when you're loading out of the menu back into a race, it takes a few seconds before it actually shows you what's happening. You just can hear it. You can't see it. And it's really annoying.
It's like,
If I was in my Evo right now, I would have been going like 300 down that hill. Because the Evo is the best rally car in the Crew 2. That as well as the Enforcer unit of the Cadillac Escalade. Because for some reason that's a rally car. Don't know why. It shouldn't be. It should have been a rally raid. But they already had a rally raid of the Escalade. That was like a full Baja version of it. But they chose to make a rallycross version of it too. And even this version of this Hummer should have been a rallycross version. But they chose to make it rally raid instead. Because in the first game it was a dirt spec. And dirt spec was the rally cars, pretty much. And you could do crazy customization with them. Like this one, I have the dual exit exhaust at the back, but there's also exhaust at the sides. And
oh wow.
yeah, so like it's got a lot of exhaust.
The camera transition is clean though.
Yeah, they did a really good job on the camera transition. So there's like this one that transitions to this, and then to the
Wow.
hood cam, the bumper cam, and then the interior view.
That's cool.
That's one of my favorite things about the Crew 2 is the way they did the camera change. It's not just instant; it like transitions to it, and it just makes the game more immersive.
Mm-hmm.
As well as like if you're in interior view and you look down slightly, your character will actually look down.
Oh, that's cool.
Same goes for like looking right, looking left, all that. It's very subtle.
Yeah.
And if you look back quickly, it'll look all the way back.
Nice.
But if you look down just very slightly, then it'll look down instead of look back.
Huh.
But I can't see with that camera view because it's so dark. Because it's nighttime. I put dynamic lighting on, so it'll go through the day-night cycle throughout the whole race. Helps you understand a little more of like how much time has passed in the race. The original route for this race never went on this dirt road. But this game, the GPS is a little more updated, but it's also a little more scuffed at times, because sometimes you'll be driving, the GPS will be like, drive up this cliff. Like, really? Like, it's like, you could do it, you're fine, you could do it. That's basically the GPS for you. But the original route would be like, instead of this turn being left, you'd be turning from the other road straight ahead of me, turning right into this turn. So you'd go across that bridge on the mini-map, and then come over here across this bridge. Like, it's kind of stupid, when they could have just cut straight across to here.
Yeah.
But they did a bunch of stuff with this race that was just really pointless, but I managed to kind of recreate the same race, but make it so it's better. So that the GPS route actually gives you the fastest route.
Yeah, it's not
It's
not
not
going
going up any redundant turns. That's a traffic car. It's like the first one I've hit throughout this whole thing.
Oh, nice.
There's more traffic. We got 2, 3, 4. Yeah, now the traffic's starting to spawn now that I'm getting on the highway. There's
There
a
we
bus.
go. A bus.
Fuck you,
10%,
bus.
25 minutes in, 26 minutes almost.
I'm at 10%.
Nice. Man is zooming.
240 kilometers an hour, almost 250 now. My top speed is 255. This is the fastest one of all the rally raid vehicles. All the other rally raid vehicles go like 240 to like 250. That's like the highest speeds they have.
Like how it goes across the bridge like that. That's cool.
Yeah.
What bridge is that again?
That one, it's San Francisco Bridge.
Oh, the Golden Gate.
Yeah, the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco.
I thought it was.
Yeah, they got all of the U.S. So like, basically from Miami to New York to Detroit, then to Chicago, then there's Salt Lake City, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, like that whole area.
Wow.
Like, it's a huge map. The other thing is there's actually a section of this area up ahead that's missing. So on the minimap, you can see it shows a turn where it's like a 90 degree left turn. Normally you would do that route, but there's another route that used to be there where you would go left here at this fork, and then there'd be a spot where you could turn right onto another dirt road which would lead to that same road, but they got rid of it. So it's not in this game. It's in the first game, but not the second game. I missed my turn. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
I wasn't paying attention to the minimap or to my driving line that's literally right in front of my face.
Fucking.
That's a tree.
It's a big tree.
Yeah, it was
Right
big
there.
redwood trees.
Yeah.
the redwood forest, the Bay Area forest. Had to do a little bit of a drift there to get around that turn, because I was definitely understeering mid-turn. I always have to use the handbrake just to pitch the back end out, just the slightest bit.
Do you know any good drifting games other than CarX?
Well, I don't know if it's on Game Pass anymore, but Absolute Drift was one, but it's not that great because it's a top-down drifter. It's kind of meh. I didn't find
Yeah, I
it
have
too
one.
good.
I have one that's like a twin stick drifting, inertial drift.
Oh, Inertial Drift. Yeah, that one's so much fun. I loved that one. I had so much fun playing it, but I never had anyone to play it with. Because there's a
Yeah,
full
I get that
multiplayer
with,
thing with it.
I get it with Xbox Gold.
Nice.
So I was like, oh, that's cool. Twin stick drifter. Try that
Yeah,
out.
it's
Pretty
quite a
fun.
bit of fun. Like, once you get the satisfying drifts, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
Like, because I was
So
able to
that's-
get to a point of, like, getting every turn, like, practically perfect in that game.
Yeah.
It's been, like, probably almost a year now since I first played it.
You still have it though.
I still have it, just not installed yet.
Oh, so that's
I
something
thought
you can
about
play.
reinstalling it, I just haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
Because I've just
That's
been
fine.
bored out of my mind mostly, but I haven't been so bored since I've been playing The Crew 2 more. I
Yeah,
can't remember if they
noticed
have it on
that.
Game Pass. Do they have it on Game Pass right now?
Inertial drift?
No, The Crew 2.
Oh, no.
Because if they had it on Game Pass, we could do
I would
races
totally.
together.
Yeah.
Because this game is actually pretty easy to upgrade your vehicles, because you just go to a race, complete the race, and once you get a bunch of... There's a specific style of golden part you can collect. If you collect 10 of them, like one for every type of part you have to upgrade, you'll get double the rewards of those drops. So like, I have like my hypercars, I have my performance parts set with those. So if I need extra parts for hypercars, I just go in and do one of the New York race. It's like a 2-hour race, maybe, somewhere close to that. If you're doing it in a slow vehicle, I'm usually doing it in a Bugatti Chiron, so I'm literally zooming even with no upgrades on it. The Bugatti Chiron is like stupidly overpowered in this game. Like any of the Bugattis are. Other than the monster truck Bugatti, that one's kind of retarded and doesn't really work.
A monster truck Bugatti?
Yeah. They got monster trucks in this game. They got boats, planes, cars, motorbikes,
Planes?
dirt
Oh,
bikes.
that's-
They got literally every kind of motorsport you can think of. And
They have
it's a lot of fun.
P-51 Mustang?
The what?
The P-51 Mustang plane?
I think so. I can't remember.
That one's cool.
I know they have a lot of like Spitfire planes and stuff like that. Like a lot of
that's
those older style planes. They even have some of those
P-26?
what do you call them? They have those stunt, like most of the planes they have are like stunt planes.
Oh,
Like
the
stunt
little
style planes. So
or
they have
like biplane kind of things.
yeah. They also have some they have one crop duster, I think, as well as a couple of those biplanes from back in the day.
Nice.
But yeah, they got a lot of stuff. They even got like a bunch of they got power boats, jet sprint boats, hovercrafts. What else? They got well, of course they have the monster trucks. There's the street cars, the hypercars, the rally cars, rally raid, the drift cars, as well as drag cars, touring cars, like track cars. And then they also have the I can't remember. There was another one they have that I'm trying to remember. If I do remember what it was called. Oh yeah, they have a bunch of Harley Davidson bikes too,
Oh, nice.
as well as Ducati, the Ninjas. They have the Ninja H2. Yeah, so there's a lot of vehicles in this game compared to the first game. The first game was just cars. Then the second game, they were like, you know what, let's add planes and boats.
Let's add everything.
And then they started adding hovercrafts. It just went crazy. They also have like...
Kinda like GTA.
Yeah, it's kind of like GTA, but you can't get out of your vehicle. The only way you can get out of your vehicle is if you go into an HQ. That's the only way you can walk around, is in the HQ. And there's multiple HQs, because there's an HQ for every car discipline.
Oh wow.
I'm at 13%. And it's only been 30 minutes. Half an hour already.
Goodness me.
And only at 13%.
Flies when you're racing.
Yep.
Yes.
Especially when you're having fun and talking about random things.
About written, that's always the best. Best things to talk about.
Oh yeah, so that video I sent you yesterday about the Rocket League slow-mo thing in free play. I used to literally do that. Like, I did it like a little while back, like, I think it was sometime last month I did it for like 5 days.
Oh, wow.
Where I had my free play set to like 95% slow-mo. And I never noticed it. I always thought that I was just feeling really slow in free play. And the moment I get into game, I was just feeling super quick. I was beating everyone with the ball. It was great. It, like,
I tried something like that a while ago. I just didn't know how much it would help me. I was messing around with them. I'm like, this feels weird. But
I think the way you could do it is start out with like the slowest and then slowly amp it up, like bit by bit. Like after each game, you just speed it up slightly until you find the right spot. And according to Waiton, it's between 95 and 75.
Yeah.
Or well, between 90 and 75. I would say 95 because 95 worked pretty well for me. Because it gave me that slight advantage over other players, which wasn't too much. Has a little fence in my face. Ooh. This thing slides so much.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was me just trying to control the drift of this vehicle. Because it's a big, heavy Humvee.
Oh, yeah.
And it just slides like crazy. I think it's got like 1100 horsepower or something like that.
Wow.
That's why it has such a high top speed compared to all the other dirt, like rally raids. Because all the other ones are like maybe like 800 horsepower at the most. Bit of rock crawling. Ooh. Like literally had a moment where the vehicle just wanted to do its own thing.
Oh, that's great.
But the other thing that's nice about the Crew 2 is that you can seamlessly transition between car to plane to boat. And it's so easy. Because you just press a button, push up, left, or right on the joystick, and switch between either three.
Wow.
So you're basically switching between a land vehicle, a water vehicle, or an air vehicle is basically how it's going.
That's cool.
And you can also set certain favorites towards the land vehicle, the water vehicle, and all that.
It's neat.
So like, the favorite vehicles I have is... My favorite ground vehicle is the Ram Rebel in Rally Raid. Because it can drive over just about anything.
And then take the GPS routes.
And then the boats is the very first power boat you ever unlock because it's the fastest one in terms of top speed.
Wow.
And then the planes, so far the only one that I have is like an older style, like World War II style stunt plane. And that thing has a livery of Rainbow Dash flying on the side of it, so it's kind of fitting to the plane aspect.
Oh yeah.
But there's a lot of like custom liveries that people have made in the Crew 2. And the Crew 2's livery editor is actually really easy to figure out. It's very similar to Car X, but not the exact same. Like Car X is definitely more simple. But the
Oh,
Crew
yeah.
2, they did make it simple enough to where pretty much anyone can use it. There's a lot of liveries that people have made. This one guy, he made this one livery of like an anime girl with a blue and white colored bikini that he has like so many different vehicles that he's put the livery on. And it's kind of cool. Because it helps me know which vehicles are like the new top car to use.
Oh,
if I find his liveries on the vehicle that I'm driving.
Yes.
Because like the whole livery is just blue and white color scheme.
Nice.
And it's a really nice livery. It goes really well when I use the full white tires. Like I have a full white colored tire.
Can't wait to get RX.
I knew there was another checkpoint I missed that was scuffed. This one's also scuffed.
Oh,
Because you're
No, it's
supposed to be driving
RX.
down that way, not up here to the checkpoint and then turning around.
that's weird.
Because you're supposed to come down the hill from those hairpins, but the checkpoint's scuffed. Oh well. Doesn't really
Oh,
matter. You
well.
would have reached the same spot at the same time. Yeah. So the road was supposed to take you. You're supposed to just continue to the dirt road ahead, not cut onto the paved road here. Which is really weird that it did that. I probably would have had to add an extra checkpoint, but that would mean I'd have to recreate the whole thing and
Not gonna
replace
do that.
every single checkpoint. Because the way they did this editor for the race creator is you can only teleport to checkpoints. You can't just grab a
Oh.
checkpoint and move it. You just place them in order. And if you don't place
Oh.
them in order, you're going to have to basically restart the whole build of the track. And it's really stupid.
Well, that's one thing they need to fix.
Yeah. I mean, this race creator thing came out like 3 months ago.
Yeah, so
So-
they're definitely gonna have.
It's still
Patching to
sort
do.
of in beta with this part of the game.
Hmm.
Other than that,
The
it's
rest of it
not
seems
bad.
pretty nice though. But I'm planning on getting Car X next month or something like that,
Nice.
September. So you're gonna have to show me how to drift.
Well, drifting in the
have full
crew
left.
in Car X is very easy because you just turn, and the
Yeah.
game will counter steer for you. But when you're drifting, like if I was drifting this turn, I'd be turning, but I'd be slightly turning. I wouldn't be full turning, because if I fully turn, my car's just gonna spin out. That's basically how it works.
Ah,
But the way to stop the full turn from spinning you out is to change your Ackerman angle to 0 on the car, and that's just with tuning.
oh,
And when the Ackerman is at 0 with controller, you'll be locked at a certain angle if your tire pressures in the front are high enough. If they're too low,
Nice.
your car will spin out. Because you'll have
That's
so much
bad.
grip that you'll spin.
yes. Ow! Just fell off the building again.
Nice.
Fell 2 stories.
Sounds like fun. But yeah, like Car X is very easy to learn how to drift in. The thing
Yeah,
that
that's
I
what I want.
realized though is that lots of people when they first start playing, they don't realize that there's basics to drifting that they have to learn. Like with drifting, like if you want to like get really good at drifting, learn single lane drifting. Like sticking to one single lane. Cuz learning that will teach you how to control your throttle, your brakes, like everything, like really well.
Yeah.
And of course, you don't even need a good tune because the game, they always come with default tunes that are very good. Like they have really
Nice.
good default tunes for controller and wheel. Well, not tunes, but it's just like the base tune that's always put on every car, depending on the car modification you put on. So like you get an
Yeah.
ultimate tune, they give you a preset tune for it.
Oh, let's go.
And they're usually pretty good, but the only thing I change on mine from the default tune is tire widths, tire sizes, rim sizes, as well as the
Suspension and stuff like that.
suspension stuff, because the suspension, they never did a very good job on it, because when you do jump drifts with that suspension, your car is going to literally nosedive into the ground off the jump.
Oof.
So I had to tweak it to where the rear suspension is stiff enough to absorb the bump, but the front suspension is soft enough to fully absorb it so that you don't pitch forward off the jump. So you absorb it and you just pitch up more instead of pitching forward.
Yeah, pitching up is better.
Yeah, it's better to land back wheels first than front wheels first when you're doing a jump drift. Of
Yeah.
course, I managed to make it so you land all 4 wheels first.
Oh, dang.
Because I found out if you tune the suspension correctly with the rebounds and stuff, like the way I do it is I take the weight of the vehicle, times it by 5, set that for the suspension fast rebound for the front and the back. The front will be set to 0.4 or no. So I do times 5 for the rear for the fast rebound, and then the times 4 for the front for the fast rebound. And then for the bumps, like the fast bump and rebound, or the fast bumps front and back, is times 3 for the back.